Hi there. Welcome to our weekly live Q&A. I didn't have one of this yesterday because I was away um, helping my son move apartments actually, and just got back really late last night. I'm sorry today's live Q&A was delayed by 35 minutes. I was supposed to start at 12 and then I moved it to 12:30 and something happened with one of the dogs and here I am at 12:35. So I am glad you're here, whoever it is that's here. I do want to remind you that the Building Canine Confidence Challenge registration is open. I've attached the link below. Um, if you are on Facebook group or on the Facebook page watching this, the link is below. You can click on it to register. It starts on June 4th. There are about 50 something people right now registered for the free version of the challenge. Join us in our group. I haven't added anyone to the group yet. You all, if you have sent in your request to be added, you will be added later today. But the challenge actually starts on June 4th. It will go on for 6 days. And then I'll be talking about my online course right after the challenge. All right. But you get to see how I work with you during the challenge. We're actually going to learn exercises that will help our dogs to build their dog confidence, right? A dog that is confident, you're going to be able to do a lot more with your dogs. You're going to be able to take your dog places. More people are going to be able to meet your dog. And who doesn't want a dog that is confident? Because you're going to be able to do a lot more with your dog without the fear of, your dog being reactive to people, other dogs, or objects. Now, one of our most recent members asked a question about, and I'm going to try to get this question up here. It is about dog reactivity. So let me just, okay, let's see here. All right, right here. All right, so she's got a 20-month-old Alaskan Klekai. And that gets way too excited when he sees dogs. This leads to him being aggressive if the dog is puppy or unneutered, or just super annoying if the other dog is polite and unreactive, as all he'll do is keep licking the dog all over, face and privates. He's good enough to sit still and not lunge or bark until the dog gets to about 3 feet generally. But sometimes when he goes into his sit and wait mode, I can't even get him to move or make eye contact with me. I'm hoping the aggression will get better after his neuter. All right, so she wants to know what else she can do. She wants to hear some tips. So my suggestion is when the dog gets to about 3 feet, when the other dog gets to about 3 feet, or they're 3 feet apart, and he gets like super excited or reactive. I'm not sure whether it's aggressive, but just super reactive, right? That's the threshold is too close already, so your dog is not used to that, and he won't sit and wait. I don't know what you walk your dog on. It's a harness, okay? So my thing with harnesses, that it's good for some dogs. Dogs that are not reactive, they walk on harness, it's fine. But when dogs are reactive and they walk on a harness, there is no way for you to actually control that reactivity, because when they get to that threshold of within that 3 feet, they're like, oh my gosh, I need to get the other dog. And it's so hard for you to get their attention because they won't listen to you, and you can't use any leash pressure at all to be able to direct their attention back to you, or for you to be able to quickly do a left turn or a right about turn or something like that with a harness. Because with the harness, and you're walking them in the harness, they can't feel any pressure. They can't feel where you're trying to get them to go. It's going to be hard for you to even like have them in a down stay. See, if he was walked on a leash that's attached to a collar, you can at least, if you step on that leash when he goes into a down stay, then you can remain standing on that leash, and there will be leash pressure attached to that collar, so that when the other dog walks close to him and within 3 feet, it's going to be very hard for your dog to react to that other dog, because it is in a down stay and there's no way that it can move, because your left foot or right foot is on that leash. So the downside to using a harness with a dog that's reactive is that it's hard to control your dog because your dog will just not listen to you anymore, and then you cannot use leash pressure because they can't feel any pressure whatsoever with the harness on, right? Because that's what harness are made for. It's the same thing. Even if you have one of those front clip-on harnesses, it's not going to tell your dog anything. So you can't communicate with your dog. In general, we communicate with our dogs. Yes, I know that we can use our voice. They can hear our commands, but when they get into a very heightened state of excitement, or that excitement might be like bad way, right? When they are like really, really aggressive, or sometimes their excitement is just pure reactivity because they want to go meet the other dog, right? And it's not in a bad way. They just like, they want to go say hi. They want to go play, right? It's still reactivity though, because they can pull you, right? And you don't want your dog to just meet any dogs anyhow, because, I mean, the other dog that they meet might not be kind, or the other dog that they meet might have kennel cough, or maybe it's not fully vaccinated, so you want to be very careful. So in any case, you don't want your dogs to just meet, and you don't want your dog to pull you towards the other dog. So my suggestion would be switching it to a collar, right? You can use a martingale collar, but your dog needs to be trained though, so that it understands the leash pressure. All right. So harnesses, in a way, it's great. I use harness for dogs that are not reactive, that only needs basic obedience, and will be able to walk nicely. And so there are some dogs who can use harness. They don't pull. They're not reactive. They are awesome dogs to walk with. It's very, very stress-free walking with them. They see other dogs, they will listen to you, right? They will do their sit stays. Maybe they will go say hi to the other dogs when you say okay, and it's just like a 3-second hi. That's the other thing I want to talk about. Like when you have your dog, I don't recommend this, but if you have to have your dog meet another dog, it's 3 seconds top, sniff, 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 and go. All right. They're not lingering about. They're not, unless it's a play date with like another dog that you already know, like from other interactions. I don't recommend sniff time to be more than 3 seconds. It's 3 seconds is enough for them to like, okay, get a sense of what the other dog is like and keep moving. And so my suggestion for Angela, if you're listening and if you're tuning in, my suggestion is actually to walk your dog on a collar. I think a collar would be easier to actually manage your pup's reactivity, because you will be able to use leash pressure to let him know that he's got to stay down, or to move into another direction totally, or just to hold on to it by actually putting some pressure on it. Okay. Right now, because I'm seeing the picture and I'm seeing that he's on a leash, not leash, on a harness that's attached on the back. And so that's going to be hard. Yes. Okay. Yes. Give Angela, I'm assuming that's you, because I don't see your name. It's just this Facebook user here. Let me see whether I can show it. Yeah. So it says, great, I've got a martingale collar. I'll give that a try. Good. You can use the martingale collar, but you need to, because if he's always been walked on a harness, right? You need to get him used to being walked with a collar again. Now with the martingale, all it does is it gets tighter, right? If he pulls to it, is what I want you to do though, when you get within 3 feet. And my suggestion is, if there's a dog that's coming closer and you know your dog's going to be reactive, right? Instead of putting your dog into a stop, right? A stop, like a sit, stop, and what? If let's say you don't want to do that, my suggestion is actually to keep on walking with your dog, get past the other dog. Now, I do teach out. All right. So folks who know me know that I teach that. I teach that, that out in a very, very guttural sound, right? You hear that it's coming from my throat. Out. It's not just regular out, right? It's out. Now, that mimics the sound that mother dogs do to their pups, right? when they're like feeding their dogs, or when the dogs, or when their puppies are playing and whatnot, and when they're correcting, it sounds just like that. And dogs that don't even know me, when I say that, they actually respond to it really quickly. They might just look at me and like, okay, all right, lady, I'm going to obey you. I'm going to be quiet now. So you can try that as well. I'm going to do it one more time. All right. That out. All right. Whenever they hear that, right. And I don't use the word no, because I use the word no in my vocabulary so much. So I use out, and it's actually generally accepted by a lot of dog trainers. We teach that. And so that is, all right, you are going to leave that dog alone, because there's the look, right? They look at another dog and then they lock eyes with the other dog. That's bad already. And then now they're going to load on the other dogs, and then they're going to lunge. You don't even want them to get into the lock stage where they lock eyes with the other dog. You want that, okay, they see the other dog, you want to redirect the attention right away. So I would immediately say out. And then after that, you quickly do a watch me and you just walk by the other dog. And if you have to apply several times, if you have to say the out several times, then do that. Okay. With the martingale, obviously, it gets tightened if he's trying to go towards the other dog. What you can do is, I know that you said your dog knows how to sit stay, Angela, so you could put him as a sit stay, and then after, with the martingale, he will be able to feel leash pressure. Step on that leash with your. I'm assuming you walk him on the left. I made a wrong assumption, but if you do walk him on your left, when you put him in a sit stay, then just step on the leash so that he goes into a complete down, and that leash pressure will tell him to go into a down, and he's got to stay in the down until the other dog walk past. I wouldn't have the other dog owner like linger around and talk to you, just because your dog might be reactive that way. But you can work your dog towards that. So like, I don't know whether you managed to download the Reactive Dog Guide, where I talked about my dog Latte. She was reactive to other dogs and people even. But like the one thing that was like really, really messed her up in 2016 and 2017 was the introduction of electric scooters in our city. And every time the electric scooter would go by, she would be reactive, and she would like lunge for the scooter, not the person in the scooter, but just lunge for the scooter. This object was just annoying her, and it was scaring her. And so she felt like she needed to protect herself. And so what I did was I parked myself at different places in our city that I know that people will go by with electric scooters. And every time they will be coming close, right? I would have her look at me. She got treats. And then after that, they got closer and closer. I would work with her again. And it's like, all right, every time she looked at me, she got pets or she got treats, right? And when it got like closer to her, I would put her into a down state, and I would just step on the leash so she can't actually lunge for it, because my weight is a lot heavier. Like I'm much heavier than my dog is. So I step on it, and so she can't go. And then after that, but I do out her before she even gets to react to that scooter. So she knows it's like, okay, mom already gave me the word to not do it, right? So she doesn't do it. When she doesn't do it, and she's just calm when the scooter goes by, and she doesn't even try to pull, because she's in a down position. She can't go any further. When she reacts really well and she's okay, she doesn't try to pull towards the scooter, even though she's in a down position, and she doesn't growl, because she can still growl even if she's down. She doesn't make any sound whatsoever, and she looks up at me. She gets a treat, because that is the behavior that I want. I want her to not react to the thing. So we worked on that for about 5 months. 5 months before she finally she's like, okay, well, this is not a scary thing for me. But I put in daily work though. At least, like 5 to 7 days a week, like we would work, like it would be like 5-10 minutes, but it was well worth it, because it helped her not be reactive to scooters, because we were seeing scooters everywhere in the city, and I couldn't possibly be walking her and have her be reactive to something that we're going to see every few minutes. And especially since it occurred over, like, I think it was introduced in the spring, and then like over the summer, like everybody was like on scooters everywhere. So I had to make sure that she was not reactive. So it worked, but it took daily work. Now, not everybody might have time to do daily work with your dog, but you want to make sure you have at least like three to four opportunities a week, right? At least three opportunities a week to work. But it's going to take some time for your dog because what you're doing essentially is you're counter conditioning that behavior into a positive behavior that you want. And your dog's got to be able to relate this new behavior that you want it to do, which is not react to that, into something positive, where it could be treats, it could be pets. I mean, I started off with a lot of high value treats. It wasn't just treats that I could get, like, like the daily milk bone treats or cookie treats. No, it was really high value. It was like cheese that she likes. I also did like hot dogs, right? Yeah, they got a lot of Nathan's hot dogs. Like she needed those. She doesn't get those kind of treats often. So when she gets that, it means like, oh, this means serious business, like do it. And so she understood that. Then eventually now, like, I don't need that. Like, I mean, she doesn't react to the scooters anymore. But this was 2017. So 2017, after we were done with that 5 months, so that then I would still, there was always that maintenance stage, right? You're working your dog against that thing, and then after that, now you got to keep trying and make sure that she doesn't react. So whenever she doesn't react, she got a pet from me, or like, oh, good job and whatnot. And so that helped her figure out that it's like, because you want to create a thinking dog. You want a dog to be like thinking for itself, what's good, what's bad. It's like, hey, I want the good things, because good. And she reacts, not reacts. She's okay with lots of pets and lots of praises. She actually receives that in a very positive manner, and she likes it. So then after that, it works. So, okay, how do I train my dog? Let's see. Hi, Mark, Christine. How do I train my dog not to jump to greet visitors at home and strangers at the dog park or on walks? He is very excited, and I hold him down between my legs in a bear hug until he comes down. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes for him to calm down, though. Yes. So, visitors at home, I always teach the place. All right. So your dog has got to be placed in place, and then your visitors, and they got to stay in place. Now, so this thing with place training, again, it requires time and effort, right? Your dog's not just going to automatically understand place just because you've taught it. So place meaning that you put your dog into it could be onto their bed, it could be in an elevated surface. I have like little elevated surfaces in different parts of my home. It's like they go into place, they wait there. All right. When you're teaching that when you're teaching that particular exercise, it's going to take some time, and I do use treats for that. But if you're taking my course later on, you'll see that I teach place without treats as well. So it all depends on what your dog needs, really. So, okay, you can do it with treats. You put your dog into place, you treat it, and then after that, you start walking around, and then your dog stays in that elevated surface. You give treats. And then you start walking away from your dog, like, a foot a day. All right. And then you start increasing the duration as well. So sometimes you can start like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, all the way up to a minute. Right. And then eventually, like over a period of weeks, right, you're going to start adding where people come to you have to enlist some friends or maybe family members. They can ring the doorbell or knock on the door and kind of like open the door. Now your dog's got to stay in place. All right. So the reason why I teach place is that eventually what's going to happen is that when people come into your house, you put your dog into place. When your dog is in place, it stays in place until you give the command, okay, or free. Then, by then, your visitor might already be seated, okay? And kind of like your dog has been in the vicinity with your visitor for like, several minutes already now. So they know like, oh, okay, there's a person in the house. All right. The person is now seated. Okay. And then you can call your dog and say free or okay. And then your dog can go sniff on the visitor. Your visitor's not standing up anymore because your visitor is sitting. And then you can have a nicer introduction without the jumping. Now, when you are, and that's what I do. So I have 6 dogs in my house. They each have a place that they can go to for place. Now, my newest dog, because he's not trained yet, when we have people coming into the house, like recently we had a service repairman come for our AC, I actually just put that dog in the crate because I've not taught him place yet. He's not started training yet because we just adopted him. So then at the dog park, strangers at the dog park, and when you're walking, right? I would recommend, yes, you need to calm him down, because what it is that he jumps up because he wants to, well, he's very excited to meet the person. He wants to, and he wants to go say hi, right? And what you're doing with like just putting him in a bear hug between your legs, basically you're just like trying to calm him down. That's fine as well. I would also teach your dog to do a sit stay, a down stay, and then after that, make sure like he's totally calm before you walk again towards the person, the stranger. You don't, and if you're okay, so I am not. So there are some people who are purely positive trainers who's like don't ever correct their dog, right? I do correct my dog. So if they're jumping on somebody when they shouldn't, they do get corrected. So I actually use the out again. And so if I use it and they know what it means, they would stop doing it. When they stop doing it and they are acting in a more positive manner, in the sense that they're not jumping, then I treat them and then I praise them, right? So they need to know what's right and what's wrong. If I'm only so I give the out when they're doing something wrong, or when they're about to do something wrong. All right, because you can see like they're like, oh, I'm gonna jump. All right, so before they even get to the jumping part, you out your dog, right? And then when he doesn't do it because he's listening to you, you praise immediately. So you can try that. The visitors at home, I definitely would teach place, because that really, really helps. It's also a great thing to teach place because when you are having guests over for dinner, or even like if you're having your own regular dinner and you don't want your dog to be right by your dining table, like we don't. And so we put them in place while we're eating so that they don't bother us, like being by under our feet. Because like I don't give my dog table scraps, and I don't want them to accidentally eat something that might fall off of our plate, because like I usually cook with a lot of spices, so it might not be like good for my dogs. And so they are in place and they stay in place until I give them the free command or okay command. They also stay in place while I'm cooking, because I don't like them to be coming into the kitchen while I'm cooking, because we don't really have a door, and I don't cover that place. I don't put my barrier up when I'm cooking. And so that's one way that you can do it. I hope that helps. Mark, Christine, the Aravellos, I hope that helps. You can try that. Try the place command for inside. And then for strangers at the dog park and on walks, I would definitely teach the out command, as well as the just do a sit stay, and then you can do a down stay and kind of do like what I suggested with Angela, step on that leash, and so that he can't go and try to get to the person. If you feel like, just calming him down with between your legs, and he actually does calm down at about 3 to 5 minutes, and he doesn't try. I don't know how big your dog is. So if he's like a little dog, it's much easier, right? Because if it's a big dog and you're trying to do that, and your dog has more strength than you, sometimes it might work and sometimes it might not work. So you want to make sure that you have like another go-to. So teach the out command, and then after that be able to step on that leash to calm your dogs down. He's a 50-pound golden doodle. Okay, is he fully grown? Because I don't know how old he is, because that's a small golden doodle. 50 pounds, not big. It's a medium size. So if the other thing is, I'm going to be teaching an exercise at the June 4th challenge that's starting. Make sure you click. He is full grown and medium size. Okay, so that's good. If I'm not sure whether this is Mark or Christine that is posting, but I would teach him the out, and then after that, not just out, but out, right? You hear that guttural sound, all right? And that means no, like he's got to stop it. right? And then after that, when he doesn't and he calms down, treat him, pet him. But if you feel like the bear hug works, right, you can continue with that, but definitely have another go-to as well, just in case that doesn't work. And then teach place for the visitors at home. And I will be sharing some exercises during the during our 6-day Building Canine Confidence challenge starting June 4th. It's not just for dogs who are fearful, anxious, or reactive. It's really for any dog. Any dog would benefit from it because every single dog can gain from getting more canine confidence. So if you haven't already registered for the challenge, it starts on June 4th. And it will be a series of videos that I'll be putting out as well. I'll be on the Facebook groups as well with live Q&As and whatnot. Come join us. There is a free version of the challenge, and there's also a paid version. The paid version is only $15, and you will get me live Q&A for about 30 minutes, but I tend to always go beyond the 30 minutes. And so you get to ask more questions there. So you get a one-on-one, not one-on-one, but like more personal session. Like there's a small group. So go ahead and register if you have not done so, and I will see you on June 4th. And Mark, Christine, as well as Angela, I hope I've sufficiently answered your question, and I hope to see you all in the challenge. And feel free, if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you're tuning in on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe on this channel. And if you are on my Facebook page watching this, go ahead and ask to be added to my Polite Pups Academy Facebook group. And if you're on my Facebook group, make sure you go check out the YouTube channel, because there are other videos that I'm going to be uploading on training sessions, different training exercises here and there. And I hope to see all of you in the challenge starting June 4th. Take care. Have a great rest of the weekend. For those of you in the United States, enjoy your long weekend, because today is Memorial Day. Enjoy your weekend. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.